pleasure to see what is being done and being done so well. Quentin Parker will present.
Thank you very much for a very kind introduction. Not sure if I believe it, but anyway. So I don't know whether to show you the H alpha or the O3. As you can see, the O3 is much brighter than H alpha, but I think I'll stick with the H alpha because that's what my survey was in. Anyway, thanks for laughing. We'll talk a little bit about the database we're putting together at Macquarie University. Particular thanks to Dr. Ian Boytich and Dr. David Frew, who have done a huge amount of work in helping put this together with the group here at Macquarie. And there's a sort of asymmetrical planetary nebulae, just to show them in the mood for the conference. Right, I'll move it on. It's not working. Oh, right. Go back. So there's been a lot of new PN discovered over the last 15 years. In fact, I've done totals over the last 200 years in the last 15 years. And so the scope of studies of these 3,500 galactic planetary nebulae should reflect the new landscape, coloured and nuanced by all the new discoveries that have been made over the last 15 years. And the insights are now offered by the large amount of multi-value data from these wonderful surveys that are now available online. So what's the motivation for this work? Well, firstly, to provide, for the first time, accessible, reliable, and online one-stop shop for essential, up-to-date information for all galactic PN. Reliably remove the many contaminants and mimics. We heard about some of those from Alberto Lopez earlier. And done over biased previous compilations, and especially their statistical studies, to provide accurate, updated positions, sizes, morphologies, radial velocities, fluxes, multivariate imagery, spectroscopy, and any other parameters that we think might be of use to the community. Here there's enough of them. Link all of these individually to the CDS and Vizier archives for the historical record for each object that exists. Provide an SQL database to sift, select, browse, collate, investigate, download, visualize the complete currently known galactic PN diaspora. It's nice to look at, sorry, don't know what it means. I don't know. Anyway, and hence to provide the community with the most complete data which undertake new science. That's the hope, that's the motivation. So here's the breakdown of the just under 3,500 current true, likely, and possible PN that are known according to the major compilations. Compiled, as I said, over decades. And I'd like to point out, particularly in the last column here, the sort of great work from the Deep Sky Hunters collaboration we heard about earlier, and also from IFAS, which you'll hear about later from Laurent Sabine. Come on. Thank you. So what's in the basic content of the database? Well, it's a consolidated and federated database of these objects, including some eclectic lists that have been out there not really studied before. Coordinates completely updated, including therefore the PNG assignations that we give, but they're cross-referenced against the old values so you can still find the objects that you want. Improved identification, so some objects of the P become T, some L's become T, some P become not PN, etc. because of the removal of contaminants. Better angular size estimates based on the actual true extent of the main PN body. Morphologies are allocated to everything according to the consistent scheme that we use for MASH. And accurately align WCS matched multi-wave images for large numbers of surveys, including as also an increased number of spectroscopic coverage. For example, we just ingested about 1,000 new spectra from Andy Sacker, who couldn't make it, from spectra she took over a long period of time. It's never been published before. There's a CDS Vizier overlay for all this, so this is what you look when you first go to the CDS in Strasbourg and go to this match DBN catalogue. You'll see this overlay, and you see little thumbnails of the PN, and you can click on these, and when you do that, you'll actually come to the main database, which I'm going to tell you about now. So the user interface of the database, you provide text. You can actually just select the entire database, and you can have pages and pages up to the 3,500 in tabular form, or you can have it in multi-image form. You can select according to, I just want to find a particular object, like this PN. You can actually select all PN according to some rules, say, okay, everything less than 25 arcsecond diameter with this H alpha flux. You combine it with OK, and also want to be true PN, not likely impossible. I want it all to be bipolar, and you want to be within this direction, with this radio flux, for example. You You can go to individual PN and select it and then get the full page for that entry with all its multi-wave images, etc. Bit of technical detail, the data stored in the MySQL database. The front-end code is built using HTML, CSS, PHP, and JavaScript. There's fixed cutouts exist online and they can all be downloaded. And they've been created using the Python programming language. The access to the major database for detailed work is login-based and will provide logins to everybody that needs one. But the basic data, image tables, and spectra, etc. can all be accessible through the Vizier overlay. So this is the current status that we have as of the 1st of November, but we're still working on this. Out of the 2,400 true PN that we believe we have, 130 of them are currently in Simbad as possibles or even not PN at all, young stellar objects, something like that. We've actually called them true. Out of the 2,500 objects designated as true PN in Simbad, we found 100 so far to be not PN, 150 to be either possibles or maybe likelies. But we've still got quite a large number of entries to check, so I suspect the number will go up. And of the 1,000 objects designated as possible PN in Simbad, 250 so far we've rejected. So the database now contains about 3,350 reduced fixed spectra for 2,300 unique PN objects, I should say, including these various lists of spectra that have been kindly given to us by these various authors, and especially that big list from Yes. Of course, there's additional LCAT initial line fluxes available, which you can create sort of line spectra as well for another 1,100 or so objects. We've got 400,000 pre-made fixed cutouts and 71,000 pre-made images from about 20 major imaging surveys, some of which are listed there. And we consolidated and standardized data sets for angular dimensions, integrated data fluxes, e.g. from that paper of David, Ivan and I just came out recently, radial continuum ion fluxes, rate losses, etc. So this is what the major database page looks like. You can select a number of entries per page up to 100, select various columns here. This is just the PN running number, the name, the column name, and the position. Then you can go to the image view page, have various image views here, and this is what the PN look like in image views across all these different bands, so the optical, the quotient images, the broadband, near infrared from Vista or UKIDS, the WISE data, Spitzer, Galax, whatever's available. And so you can select which images you want to show from this list. You can choose whether you want to do a true, possible, likely, or whether you want to look at some of the other mimics and transition objects, etc., and pre-PN that are also in the database. You can search for individual PN according to positions, according to RADEC or LB with a certain tolerance. You can search for individual types of catalogs, individual PN entries. As I say, here's an individual PN page. You can see the various tabs at the top there. Gallery, notes, user samples, spectra. You click on, say, the spectral tab. Oh, sorry. Click on the Simbad icon. How do I go back? Can I go back? Yes. You can see over here, by the way, we have various icons. Simbad, Vizier, that should always exist. This one's HST, this one's PNIC, and we're going to be putting in here the Sempero Martia icon to link to that database as well, I hope. But these ones will always exist, and if we have HST imaging or PNIC imagery or the Sempero Martia kinematic spectroscopy, that will appear here. You can click on that. So if you click on Simbad, for example, you go to the Simbad entry. You can also click on the icon Vizier, etc. So, here you can click on the spectral tab, you get whatever spectra is available. Sometimes there's multiple spectra available for any individual object. You can zoom in interactively on areas of the spectroscopy. You can look at the notes that have been enabled. And in fact, certain people will have the ability to edit and update and add notes. You can cycle through all the available multi-mode images for every PN, and this needs to be the case with all this extra stuff here as well, confusing the picture. But if you look at this object in the quotient image, that's a multi-band colour, that's a broadband colour, that's the WISE data, and something you can see it sticks out like a sore thumb from the rest of that stuff in WISE. Contaminants, we're addressing contaminants, which has been a big and serious problem in the field for decades. In fact, Martin Cohen recently found in the glimpse zone around 45% of the known PN at low galactic magnitudes turn out to be compact planetary regions. And so, as we know, identification of a true PN is complicated by a whole variety of factors, not just morphologies, but how they're being ionized, the central star, what it's doing, the stage of evolution of the nebula itself, how far away it is, its environment, etc. So the observed characteristics that we see reflect the various stages of nebula evolution and all these other factors. For example, here is a list of nebulae. There's only one true PN in this compilation. Okay? That is at bottom right-hand corner. Everything else is a Wolf-Rayet bubble or an OF ejector or something on an overshell, whatever. They look and smell. So it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and smells like a duck. It's probably a goose. Anyway, so we're proving and purifying PN identifications, following some of the discrimination tools we developed at Macquarie. And so we have this newly consolidated multi-grade database, thank you, that can help with this process. We now got additional spectroscopy can help it too. And so we're assigning this TLP criteria to PLanetary as true, likely, or possible depending on various criteria we apply. And you can read that will be in the paper for further details. All known PN are being checked against all current evidence, multimodal images and spectroscopy, and if necessary reassigned. Is an object possible planetary? It's clearly not a PN. It's a nice F2 region. Stars and all this other imagery, 2 mass and IRAC, etc. shows that quite clearly. Here's an example of a true PN, not PN, another one. There it is. It doesn't look anything like planetary nebulae. It might be some free PN, but clearly in the quotient image, it's actually got negative H alpha. In fact, as we look at the spectrum, there's a spectrum of the star, not the PN. And here's an example of some objects finally received a true PN recognition they deserve. Young stellar object. Oops, wrong way. Young stellar object becomes a compact possible planetary nebulae with a PN spectrum. Another criteria to define it. PN claims are tested. Sometimes people say, oh, I've got this data from one band, I think it's a planetary nebulae. We found 4 new PNs selected based on the Princeton H2 line emission. We look at our data in the multi-dynamic space and available spectroscopy. In fact, one of them is a true PN, one is probably a PN, one's possibly, the other's definitely not, by applying all our criteria. So we've updated coordinates, many are out of date. Even a lot of my PN match, some of those positions were quite poor. Now we can actually refine positions based on the true angular extent of what we can see in the DPH alpha imagery, give improved centiroid coordinates. Okay, as I said there. Surprisingly, how many are out? This is a lot of an offset, so 10 up seconds and a few up seconds, and so there's still quite a lot of small offsets for large numbers of PN, which can now improve for the entire database. So here's an example of quite a serious offset, as you can see. Here's an example of a small offset, which we've corrected. Here's an example of an object which has been misidentified, and so this is not the PN, this is the PN, as you can see in the multi-mode imagery, and then we get the new coordinates and fix to that. So there you can see it there. Okay, here's the tidy up confusion in the CDS, 2 entries, 2 different PN, 2 different designations, 2 different pages. In SimBab, the same object. Okay, errors propagate through. Many people take CDS entries for granted, don't we? No. This is okay mostly. Caveat emptor for PN. Some objects have gone from possible in many previous references to then get included in the catalogue because it become true. CDSN picks up true, then it becomes a true PN like this, except it's not. That's not the PN. The object there is a possible PN. Thank you, Bruce. I'll try to hurry up. This is my personal favourite. PN is emulsion flaws. 22 references in SimBab, 7 different identifiers of this object. Kahooten, first object. On the red print, faint almost circular disk 43 arc seconds in diameter. As soon as I read on the blueprint nothing, I thought, oh, emulsion flaw. Because I was used to work at a Schmidt telescope actually taking these sort of plates. So I sort of know what they look like. And there it is, the 43 arc second diameter, beautiful planetary nebulae. Not even in the IAC morphological catalogue. It's not the end. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. And the database should go live in January. We hope. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bruce.
Sure. We don't have time for any questions at this point. The questions will be held this afternoon at the end of the session. Christoph has an announcement.
Hi. Well, the conference dinner is first is free. It's included the fees, so as well as the